Welcome to another episode of GeekOutdoors.com. On this Davinci Resolve tutorial, I'm going to show you how to do video in text. So if you're not familiar with what that is, it looks something like this. As you can see, there's some text, but there's obviously a video playing in the background. And at the same time, I'm going to show you how to do some motion as well, so then you can make things a little bit more interesting. And not only that, but I'm going to show you some other ways in which you can use video and text. For example, if you wanted to do a reveal text effect, or maybe you wanted to add an image below that, right here, and even show a video behind it as well. And throughout this, I'm going to show you some ways in which you could do this, whether it be through the edit page, or you could do this through Fusion. There is one other way to do this, and that's in color, but I'm not going to cover it in this video. And so let's go ahead and get started with the simple way, and that's going to be in the edit page. And so the first thing you want to do is add two tracks. So all you have to do is right click and then add track. And I'm going to go ahead and add this track right here on top. And then I'm going to go ahead and shorten this and go ahead and remove this portion. So now, as you can see here, we have our video, but we don't have our text yet. And so to add your text, you just go here to titles and then choose text or text plus. I'm just going to choose text. And then you can make this as long or short as you want. So let's go ahead and start with the easy one, just this really short one at the beginning. And so right now you can't see the text because your video is above the text. And so I'm going to hide this for now. So now you can see your text. So we'll go ahead and add whatever text we want. So I'm going to put video games. You could change the font as well. So I'm going to choose one of my favorite fonts, especially for gamers, choose Sega. I'm going to make it large. And be sure to leave the color white because it won't work otherwise, or it'll just not look right. Okay, so just leave the color as white. So now I have my text. I'm going to go ahead and turn the video back on. And under your video clip, just go here to Composite Mode and then choose Multiply right here. So now you have your video and text. So it used the white color to do that. So it's basically a mask. So that's how that looks. As you can see, very simple, super easy to do. And at the same time, you can still make adjustments to your clips just as normal under your inspector. Say, for example, you want to zoom in, you want to change the angle, you want to add different effects to the clip. All of that could be done. And about the only difference here is going to be the text, where it masks all of those things around it. And so that is a really easy way to do your very first video in text. So now let's go ahead and add some motion. So adding motion to your text can be done in a variety of ways. So one way to do that is by using the transform overlay. So we'll turn that on. So now you could reposition it, resize it, or you could rotate it. So that's the first way. Another way is by using the dynamic zoom feature. So once you have your text clip selected, you can go over here to video, go down to the bottom and turn on dynamic zoom. Then come back down here to your drop down and choose dynamic zoom. And then you could choose the points that you want to do this actual dynamic zoom. So let's go ahead and check this out. So there is some motion. So that's another way. But my preferred method is by using keyframes. So let's go ahead and add some keyframes. I'm gonna turn this back to transform and turn it off. And so you could do keyframes either under the text or under video, but I prefer doing it under video. Now before you add your keyframes, you need to decide what type of effect that you want. So in this case, I want my text to zoom in. And then at the beginning, there is no text. So that's what I want at the beginning. And so let's just say I wanted my text to appear right here. So under my transform, I'm going to go ahead and add a keyframe here. And then on my clip itself, choose this keyframe symbol so you can see where your keyframes are. And then I'm going to go to the beginning of the clip, add another keyframe. But in this case, I want it to be completely gone. So completely zoomed out, and then it zooms in. So let's add some other motion. I'm going to go ahead and move it to the bottom. add another keyframe here. Then we'll move that to the bottom. And then we'll go ahead and move it one more time to the top right here. So let's go ahead and move it right here. And finally, let's move it over to the left. Add a keyframe there. We'll move it or to the right. That'll work. So let's see how this looks. Zooms in, goes to the bottom, comes back up to the top, then goes to the right. And that's how you would do some more, I would say, advanced motion using keyframes. And as with any other clip, you could do so many other things here, but I'm just showing you how easy it is to do and also the possibilities when it comes to adding a variety of different motions to the video in text. So that's the first way in which you could do that in the edit page. So now let's look at some other ways that we could do this using Fusion. For serious YouTubers, check out TubeBuddy, the premier tool used at geekoutdoors.com. Get more done today by checking out the affiliate link in the description area below. Using the edit page is probably the best way for most people to do video and text because it's easy to do, but at the same time it gives you a lot of flexibility. However, if you wanted more features and effects, then you're going to use Fusion. So I'm going to disable these clips. Then I'm going to add 2 new tracks. And here I'm going to add a different clip here to the top. And I'm also going to trim this down. So move this over and we'll trim it right here. All right. So the first way we're going to do this is by simply selecting this clip and then going over to Fusion. So once you're here, you'll see meter in 1, which is our video, and meter out 1, which is what we're seeing here in our preview window. And so first I want to actually rename this because I want it to make sense whenever I'm looking at this. So I'll right click, rename, and then type in video. Next up, I want to remove this connection to meter out. So I'll just double click on this line and now it's gone. So now I'm going to drag down a text node and also a merge node. Okay, so this part's pretty important. I want the video to be in the foreground, which is this arrow right here, and then a text to be in the background. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and connect the text to this yellow arrow, and then our video to the foreground with this green arrow right here. And now I can connect all of this back to media out, which is what we have here. So I'm also going to drag text up here to this other preview window so I can see my text. Now you can go ahead and add your text, select the node, type in what you want. I'm going to type in one of my favorite things to do. And I'm going to change it to the Sega font. And we'll increase this. Now if you go to your merge node, go here to operator and then choose in. And we now have our video and text. And if you go back to your edit page, you see it here. But you could also adjust anything you need, similar to what we did before with any of these attributes. So you want to zoom in, change the position, rotation, any of those things that you did previously, you could do here. But there's other benefits that come to doing this in Fusion. And so the first thing that I could do is add a background image. So I'm going to go ahead and drag an image down here to this clip below. I'm going to extend this out. So now we have our video and text with the image underneath it. Now if I tried to do this on the previous method, let me show you how that looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and hide these for now, turn this one back on. So let's say, for example, I tried this in the edit page and drag down this image. So this doesn't quite work because of the way that the multiply works. And as you can see there, we do see our text, but the text is meant to work primarily with just a white color and black background. Since we now have an image background, we have all of that. So it looks cool, but it's not the effect that we want. So that's why we do that in Fusion. So now let's go ahead and add a video, because you could do that as well. So I'm going to remove this image, choose this video right here. So now we have our video underneath our video and text. I'm going to go ahead and resize this so it fills the screen. Choose my transform. Okay. So as you can see here, we have our video and text on top and a video underneath it. And you can also adjust this video clip however you like. So say for example, I want to blur this out. I'll go to open effects, put a Gaussian blur. Now it's blurred, so it's easier to see the text. And at the same time, I could change the opacity. You could do many other things, but as you can see here, by using Fusion, I could do things that I couldn't do in the edit page. So now I'm going to show you one other effect that you could do in Fusion, just to make things look a little bit different. So what I'm going to show you now is how to do a reveal text effect in Fusion. So the first thing I'm going to do is disable this video clip for now. Then I'm going to choose my main clip, go to Fusion, and now I'm going to drag down two different nodes, a background node and a rectangle node. And I'm going to connect the rectangle to the background and the background to the text. And then on my background node, I'm going to choose the color white. And now we can head over to our rectangle. And now you see this box or mask around your text. So this is where you can adjust your reveal. So I'm going to go back to the beginning frame. I'm going to go ahead and add a keyframe for width. Now we'll make it 0 so you can't see anything. And then on this frame, we'll go ahead and reveal our text. So let's check this out. There is our text reveal. So we'll go back to the edit page. And once it renders out, there it is. And you could also turn on your video clip as well. So let's go ahead and let that render. See how that looks like. There is our text reveal above our video. So as you can see, there are many things that you could do using Fusion. It gives you a lot more power and flexibility, and it also allows you to be very creative depending on how much time you want to spend in Fusion. So now let me show you one final thing with doing all of this in Fusion, but instead of doing it directly on the clip, we're going to be using something else. So currently all our Fusion effects are applied for the entire clip. However, you can adjust the length of it by either shortening or extending the clip here, or you could go to Fusion and adjust it by frames. But there's another way to do that. So we're going to go ahead and add 2 more tracks. I'm going to disable this too. And we'll go ahead and add the clip again, just really quickly. We'll just go ahead and trim this here. And so the other way to do it, and I think this is the better approach, is to use Fusion Composition. So under Effects, there's Fusion Composition. Now in this case, our video clip is going to be at the bottom, and the Fusion Composition is going to be on top. So what's nice about Fusion Composition is that all the effects that you do, it applies to the Fusion composition and not directly to the clip itself. And so you do have more control where it's at. And also if you decide to make any changes, it doesn't affect the actual video clip itself. Whereas the way we did it before, it's kind of tied to the video clip. So let's go ahead and go into the Fusion composition, head over to Fusion. And if you notice here, we only have media out, but there's nothing there. So we're going to need to add elements to our actual Fusion composition. And so the first thing I'm going to do is add the clips that I want. Now there's other ways to do this, but this is the method I'm going to use. So we'll go ahead and bring this down here. And I'm going to go ahead and rename that. So to video. Now I could drag this up here to the preview. So that's where that's at. And you could also trim it as well right here, where you could control how much of the clip you actually want. So let's just say right there. And then I'm also going to add the other components. I'm going to add a text node, also a merge node right here. And I'm going to go through this quickly because we've already done this before. So we're going to do pretty much the same exact thing. I'm going to add it here, here, and then here. We'll add a background node and a rectangle node. Okay. And this becomes a lot easier as you work with this more and more. So I'm going to put the media out up here. Put the text up here. So we'll go back here. All right. Okay, and we'll make this a lot simpler. I'll just leave that the way it is. Merge. There's the N. Oh, the text is a little too small. Let's change that again. We'll just use the Sega one again. All right. And then on our rectangle, go back to the beginning. Add a keyframe. Let's do it vertically this time. All right. Then on this frame, I'll go ahead and add another keyframe here. All right. And let's go back to the first keyframe. Add a keyframe there. Okay. Okay. So let's see how that looks. All right. So that works. And if we go back to the edit page, there is our effect. Except now, you know, it's independent of the video clip. So if we were to play that, once it renders it out, and you could also extend this or move it around as well. So I think this makes it a lot easier in terms of managing things and not have it tied to the clip itself. And at the same time, it gives me a lot of flexibility on where I could put it. So that is another way in which you could do these fusion effects by having a fusion composition. And that is it for this tutorial on how you could do video and text along with some motion and along with some effects as well in Fusion. So if you actually have any thoughts on this or any other ways in which you do this effect, be sure to leave that in the comment area below. And if you want to see more DaVinci Resolve tutorials and tips, I do have a playlist. I'll leave that in the description area below. So as always, if you did get value out of these videos, be sure to share, like, and subscribe. Hey geeks, if you are a creative geek like me and you wanted to learn how to create content on YouTube and other places on the internet, then check out my Go Content Creators group where you'll get access to additional videos and content for all the creative geeks out there. And the best part of it is, all of this is free. Simply head over to the link below, check out my page, and sign up for my Go Content Creators group. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the other side.